Oh, shit. That's right, because we are live. YouTube.com, Ben Hameen channel. Hameen Media Group channel, infidels. It's just the sign of the times. Conspiracies to overthrow your mind. Behind every fortune, there's a crime. This technique is Tech 9. Blast on any close encounter of the third kind. That's right. It's 3 up, 3 down. As above, so below. Here on the Conspiracy Horsemen, infidels. Plenty of run-ins coming, so it should be a big night of ribs. But ribs on you, like it always is. YOLO! Going deep on the creep. He's coming in off the side route. You never seen him cross. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's QAnon, but the whole time it was him. The whole time it was Stevie, and you guys never saw it coming. Yeah, I lost Steve Areno. We just went live. How are you, buddy?
THX long game.
THX long game. I mean, don't call it retribution a comeback. They've been here for years. Sally, you're up there in Alaska with the Northern Lights. You made an escape. You're up working on some new projects with CERN and HARP combined. You guys got the big grant. So, I know that you got to wear your white hat and be the foreskin on that job. So, I mean, I hope it's all going good, buddy.
It's going aces. Absolute aces.
Right now.
I don't know. So now my cable reception's shit up here. So did something go on today? Because all this shit that I don't understand what they're posting. Their cats watching TV.
UFC was on from Fight Island earlier this morning. So
right. Everybody's a buzz, and I was like, what did I miss? And I don't know. So I just trying to catch up.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Stevie.
Post this picture earlier.
Oh yeah, Odin was doing it. He was doing it real big. Stevie, doing
Orange cat bad. That's all I've heard for 4 years. Orange cat bad. What is something else?
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. Time out. I'm sorry. I just got special alert. This was just sent to me by producer of the year, Horror Junkyard Chuck.
Trump's been kind of rubbing his dick on everything in the way.
Oh, that would be.
You can't for that. I mean, who wouldn't at this point? You got to do what you got to do. But Double A Andreessen with a super sticker right out of the gate, man. The chat room was bumping for 15 minutes before we even went live at YouTube. I appreciate you all following us over here after the Twitch ban. We're going to be working on that. So hopefully the queer deer's jumping around and he's happy about it. And we'll get on ban on Twitch. If not, we're looking at D Live. We're looking at Rockfin, a couple other solutions. Nothing's permanent in this digital landscape of censorship at this point. So
I'm a fucking idiot because I'm on Twitch. I'm like, I can't find that.
Can't find us there, but you can go to YouTube.com/Ben Hameen and subscribe. YouTube.com Hameen Media Group, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification gimmick. Scott Woodford also got that check. So actually, I got first round today myself. The wives and I think we cleared $6.4 million total for relief funds, but $600 a pop. And speaking of pop, where is he tonight? His guest, Jenny Leese, will be joining us. I believe she's into mysticism, and she said she had 2 pages of notes, so I'm very interested to hear what she has to say. Another very smart, sexy, savvy woman, a performer who pushes the button of the edge of religious and that strange culture, I think, and is doing a lot of interesting art projects. So hopefully he'll be here to catch up with us. If not, she's got the link, and we're 33.
I looked her up. I looked her up on YouTube. It says she knows a thing or two.
It does say that. So we're at 33. So you know what that means. It must be Wednesday, infidels, the Conspiracy Horsemen. Stevie, how you doing, man?
I think a lot of people right now don't know what to make. They're exhausted. I'm sure we're exhausted by this point, but the general public has been kind of waiting for something. And at first it was the election. Then it was something December 14th, I believe, when the electors, made their votes. Then it was January 6th, and we all know what happened there. We can't really talk about it here on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then people were talking about January 20th. Now, I would say, okay, that's in our little bubble or whatever. But the envelope video that we did with Dr. Dave Janda by way Awakening of a Surgeon, available on Amazon.com. But the original envelope video that we did for the Bush funeral gained there you go. I got to get that. Birthright, Tim Alvarino.
I'm going to be reading this starting tonight, probably after AEW. I'm going to do 5 pages and put it out on Patreon, 5 pages a day.
Nice.
So
the envelope video that we did, it garnered a lot of attention and a lot of people had found it, but then it kind of died off for a year or two since we had Dave John on.
Mm-hmm.
It in the past 28 days, 1.2 million views, and they watched the watch time is like 8 million minutes on this video. So I'm just saying, and people are searching for it. It's external searches, it's certain sites posting it, but it's people looking for it more than anything through external search that they found that. So they were looking for something to happen that didn't happen. And that's why the title of my thing is THX Long Game, because what now? What happens on January 21st? What's going to be the story? Oh, we're just giving them enough rope to hang themselves for the next 4 years? We're going to wait till the Great Reset. And right before that, we're going to come out and we're going to save everybody, or Trump in 2024. I mean, surely everybody is thinking that you're angry about the situation. You're angry about the elite. You're angry about this one world government. You're angry about the reset and the rights being taken away. But there's got to be people that are just as angry at the people that were saying the change is coming. Freedom is coming back. There's going to be, what's the Real American song when it comes
Real American?
Sal, why is he so mad about the reformation of the elite? I mean, we've been waiting to see the Young Bucks with the Good Brothers, Kenny Omega, for a long time, and we finally get it, and Stevie's just not going to put it over. And he's the guy who was the originator of biting the click. So if anybody should be down with the elite, the elite, it should be Stevie Richards.
Well, Stevie likes to be the contrarian.
Mm-hmm.
And
contrary.
Basically, you spell it. It depends on how you spell it.
Wait, I got to buy some hollow points off my cousin. He just said I can get like 50 or 100.
See, he's just mad that because if he was in the elite, then he could hold out. But now he can't even hold out.
Right, he can't.
Well, let me ask you this question.
He was named one of the 5 most jacked superstars, ripped superstars in WWE history. And
50.
He's
50, but top 5 are in a different.
Well, then what the beginning
category.
of the year? Didn't beginning of the year you get one for being more jacked than you were when you were 20?
I don't get anything like that. I don't know.
I thought beginning of the year, I thought you had it was like you're more in fit shape now than you were when you started your career.
Well, they weren't. They put little adjectives like somehow. Like how can a jobber get in shape? Oh, by the way, I was poking Papadon, and here he is in the chat a little bit. And then I said, I'm just mad that I was like, I'm just really mad that that the payoff they offered me for the Royal Rumble. And this person that follows everything in WWE said the Royal Rumble had already happened.
Oh,
wow.
Or maybe it did, and we don't know about it. I'm hoping did a time dash. Maybe that CERN experiment up there with Harp at the Northern Lights advanced us past the Royal Rumble. We're going.
What I'd like to say, though, I want to point this
accept the offer. Let's go ahead.
I want to point this out that does anybody notice anything odd in the pictures? Someone is sitting without their FDR blanket across their legs.
No. I grabbed it. I got the.
Oh, well, what's
the
behind you?
FDR morning blanket.
Okay, so you have different styles. Okay, all right.
This is how I clap for that, you stupid bastards blanket.
Mm-hmm. And fresh off of 4 touchdowns in one game, it's the quarterback of the night, our own. He's letting the hair grow back in as my big playoff championship player here. GGP, how's it going, buddy? Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry for the late running. I just had some computer issues. Had to force 37 kids in a closet because they spilled some pop, as you people in PA call it, on the rug.
Nobody call it that.
I know, I'm kidding. Anyway, how's everyone doing today?
Good, man. I think I tuned out. I mean, it's just been so busy with work. I wasn't having all that on in the background when I had to lose money on UFC bets. You know, why would I do the other?
Why you bet on that shit? That shit's fucking work, dude.
Well, that's what I do. I bet on the Chinese guys as they go as they go into the China markets. Absolutely.
Gotcha. Well, it would make sense. Go over strong.
Yeah,
like bull.
They all three of them went over.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's definitely a work. But hey, let's keep the and bet on Connor. They got him signed for 2 other fights, so of course they're going to put him over right here. You know what I mean? Forget about it. But yeah, man. To just the images and a couple highlights is all I saw. The Bernie sitting there with the mittens on and sitting there with his blanket
in the
on.
Virgil section.
Yeah, it was really great, dude. Social distance. I popped huge because this one dude who runs a gimmick site out of Chicago, improv guru, he just put 2 up, which is just like classic improv coach goes 2 up, and fucking like Rip would go 2 in, and it was the perfect I don't give a fuck about this improv scene look for Bernie stunting on the porch. Like, dude, how much a theater of the absurd of that people in their late 70s, early 80s who are demented and can barely put sentences together and shuffle one foot in front of the other are in full fucking like it's like Green Grove is running the country, bro.
I will pop huge. First off, let me just say this. The inauguration, I watched it. His speech was better than any speech Trump gave in the last 4 years. This guy knows how to cut a promo when he's coherent.
Yeah.
He's more demanding, more powerful with his words, his cadence. But whatever. It was a nice little
politics for 40 years. Absolutely.
I know.
He should be
okay. How many guys do we know in the business that claim they've been in the business for 40 years and they can't even freaking throw a working punch? Come on. All I'm saying is the guy delivered today. I'm very hopeful, and I'm very hopeful we're going to get screwed. I know that. But I'm hoping that we don't get screwed as bad as I think we're going to get screwed. So instead of going to home base, I'm hoping for like a double, instead of a home run. I don't know. But I digress. Anyway, the funny part is watching Bill Clinton fall asleep.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Everyone needs a nap time now, bro. Like, how susceptible are we, and who are they going to put on as the babysitters of these octogenarians? So, Stevie, you and I were talking earlier off camera, and you got 2 big heater arguments. I kind of want you to touch on both of them, but how do we hold the QAnon bullshit truly accountable at this point, and all the and then the other one, of Biden being out of the picture as much as Trump was active every day, will balance it, and they'll paint a whole different picture around him that way. GGP, get your shit in, and then go ahead, Stevie.
I don't want to tell all you people out there, the Horsemen told you so, but we told you so from day one that this QAnon shit was nonsense, and this long game is nonsense. We were the only ones calling it bullshit. Everybody else were chomping at the bits, hoping that it was real. Wishful thinking was coming into play, but they can't outwork the workers. Since day one, we were telling everybody, even no offense, I like the guy, friend of the show.
Shoot though, because we could have cashed in on T-shirt sales. Now I'm like, fuck, we should have had a whole line of Q shirts. Now his fucking shine is blown. Fuck.
But not to throw anyone under the bus. I like the guy, friend of the show. He sponsored Stevie, but we told Dr. Janda that a little preposterous. And then boom, what happened? I sent you guys all the stuff that people were sending me because everybody's a conspiracy theorist. Everyone's a free thinker now, right? It's cool to be one of these guys who are on the fringe. And everything they sent me, I would send it to you guys because I know it was bullshit. Like you said, theater, wishful thinking, just so we can be in the loop and see what the other side of the spectrum, the ones that are riding on the small buses are thinking. But anyway, Stevie, go ahead.
Well, the Q thing I talked about earlier, that's the thing that people are exhausted about. It is very much boy who cried wolf or Q who cried wolf. That can be a T-shirt.
Yeah,
Q who cried wolf.
You were hot the other day. You were like, fuck, dude, I'm fucking done with this shit, these assholes.
I was going to go fucking rent a cabin in the mountains with my wife and get in a hot tub. And here I am going, no, something's going to go down. And like an idiot, my wife looks at me and just says, oh, this is much nicer than sitting in the cabin in the mountains, waiting here with a weather radio. So, and she's in the chat room, by the way.
Awesome.
So,
check
anyway,
out the Career Junkie podcast. Christy Manna available on.
What's her name?
Platforms. So yeah, she knows a thing or two about a thing or two. That broad.
She's easy on the eyes.
Oak Island episode coming up soon.
Here is the part that people I think are going to be celebrating, not realizing that their government is going to be completely apathetic to whatever is taking over. They're going to be so happy that Biden's not going to speak. It's almost like it would, if they were smart enough to plan it this way, that Trump is in the news every single day, that Biden will give one speech a month and they're going to say, look at how reserved he is. Look at how laid back. He's not out there in the news every day. And there's two plays with that. Either what they can do if they're smart is keep Biden as the figurehead president, as Kamala Harris, Pelosi, Schumer, whoever else is in control, really do run the country, or we are going to see 25th Amendment and impeachment tomorrow on Biden. Kamala Harris is the president. Then she's an anchor baby, which makes Pelosi the president. Someone predicted it in 2 years. It might be 2 months if they really want to get their shit in. If they don't play the quote long game, they're gonna make this happen within the next few months. That's my guess.
I mean, let me ask you about this. You're big fans of both these guys. Lil Wayne and Kodak Black both pardoned on the way out. Stevie, how you feel about that?
I didn't know either one of them did anything to get pardoned for. What was that about?
That was for their second albums. They were so bad and so shitty that they were brought up on charges of crimes against humanity. I think.
I was really. My wife had told me just about an hour or so ago that Joe Exotic did not get pardoned. And I was like, dude, if there's ever a way to troll on the way out,
and he had a limo. He had a limo set. He ordered a limo waiting to have him picked up from prison.
Really, Joe Exotic thought he was getting out today?
He thought he was so sure he was getting out.
They got to have that on camera, like the blown spot, like fucking with the limo pulling away and shit, bro.
And it would be like Reno 911. He's there, and in the distance you see the fucking limo outside the gate.
Here's a question for everybody, though. We work very hard each and every day. We have incomes.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's in prison. Can any one of us at a moment's notice order a limo? This guy ordered a limo with, what's he making, like 21 cents a day?
Yeah, maybe, but I'm sure.
I think he's got that outside money though coming in.
Yeah, off of that, likeness. They must have paid him off Netflix.
Hey, since you were in WCW, Stevie, maybe you know Tony Schiavone. Maybe you guys are buddies. Maybe we can get a sound bite. Who's in the limo? Not Joe Exotic.
I refuse to ever acknowledge Tony Schiavone's experience from the time that he did the Blue Chew ad. He ruined my childhood. So he can fuck himself. Clip that.
How about this right here? Fine looking lady who knows a thing or two. She was joining us. How are you? Jen Elise? Am I getting it right on the Elise?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good. Yep, okay. Absolutely. Welcome to the Conspiracy Horsemen.
If you want me to switch, I can switch to a different device right now.
No, everything looks
No, your mic sounds amazing, doesn't it, Stevie?
Stop it.
Really?
Stop it. I'm buying a new mic tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, it's been a big day all the way around online. I'm sure you've got a whole timeline filled with people losing their minds, and this is the place to retreat where you can say what you want to say, be who you want to be, and put out the opinions in a true, not Planet Fitness way, but judgment-free zone here on the Conspiracy Horsemen. So welcome to the show.
All right. Thank you for the welcome.
Yeah. And you said you had 2 pages of notes.
I do.
Oh, 2 pages.
Yeah.
I was actually just
going over pages than we have.
Jesus.
I have notes on a show, not what's going on today. I have been offline all today, so I have no idea what's happened in the world since yesterday.
You missed it.
That's kind of where we are. That's kind of where we are too. Like all we've seen is people in our timeline who may hold different opinions than us, kind of rejoicing in a sick way where they made themselves the victims for 4 years of their own making, like their own prisons. And they really don't have any reason because they tried to do these gotcha campaigns, whether it was Russiagate, getting pissed on or whatever, and it all blew up in their faces, tax evasion, and they got tired of eating crow and backing the wrong ones, and now they went over in whatever way. So today they have to support who they got, but I don't think they like who they got. At the end of the day, grandma and grandpa are not an attractive offering.
Yeah, I mean, is anybody a big fan? That was one of my skits back in the summer. I was like, I'm Biden's #1 fan, #1 Biden bitch. And I have all these videos where I'm like, I'm so excited. Is anyone super excited for Biden?
Well, I hate to break the news to you. You're too old for him.
I'm too old for him. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be into sniffing you.
Not even in the 20s, huh?
No, once you get that 14-year-old and below sniff, I mean, that's
once you get your driver's license, you're pretty much out of the pool.
That's
Shit.
tough. It's like that new puppy smell, like they only have it for so long.
That just made it worse, dude.
I have a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure he'll get the last of it off you if he has the opportunity.
Oh,
And that's it. And that's it too. We've been building up too. We were just slamming the Q movement, but I've seen, whether it's propaganda and the rabbit holes we go down, I was looking at some big threads, like Reddit style threads, all in Mandarin, and there's pictures of Hunter Biden in there with kids and smoking crank with Lady Gaga, and with his dick out, and he's good for him. But when it comes to it, when is that going to come to the surface and kick the legs out of what happened today? Like, they're just waiting around the corner to drop that stuff mainstream, aren't they?
I mean, it's all out there, right? The actual videos of that are out there, but they keep getting taken down. And there's rumors. I have a friend with a Chinese connection, and he thinks that all these things are going to be revealed in the next coming weeks.
Long game.
Chinese.
That's kind of what we're so tired of, because we've been watching this long game unfold for 2 years. Is Q JFK Jr., is Q the generals, is Q this guy and that guy, is it a whole CIA op? And in the last week, when they should have unloaded all the heavy ammunition, we just sit here and watch it all switch over to a new reset.
Well, the line is, wait for it. It's all going to be revealed. Or is it Bill Hicks, or is it Sam Kinison, or Alex Jones, or is it all the same person
Right.
running it?
Alex Jones flipped the script today on Q. He had a little rant on his show.
Did he?
Oh man, he put Q out, just put him on blast, called him a liar, saying everything was a lie. It was funny. He went on a little rant, and then he caught himself in his rant. And he's like, I can't even deal with this. I need to go work out.
He does, bro.
Yeah.
He's blown up right now, man. He put on like 40, 50 pounds again, Stevie.
He's trying to cut down on Adderall, he said. He said that openly. This isn't back talk.
Yeah, openly that way. I'm sure he's doing lines off. He'll be doing lines off the desk on air next week. There's no doubt about it. Like, we got to cash in on all this stuff we've heard. A new Patriot Party, all this new fan fiction that right away is going to start a third party. Well, that's going to fail, because we can't have, in what the movement is, where they want to label it Trump. You can't put Trump Jr., Ivanka, or any of them in there. You have to, if you're the true Patriot Party and a takeover of America movement, then it has to be somebody not even connected, but they can fund it. They can back it. But if it's going to be some nepotism, hand over the keys of the kingdom to a younger generation, that's going to be a bad look. That's not something I want to back. The only reason we backed him in the first place was to put an arrow in Hillary's chest. And we were shocked the day we woke up. We thought it was a Mandela effect, that Sale flipped a switch at CERN and changed the outcome, because it didn't seem like it was going to go that way.
So who are the Patriots now? Like, everything switched. Like, woke was a good.
They're in New England.
Yeah, they're like a number 6 team. They're not that good.
Like, woke, we switched up with woke that switched over 2020. Woke was a good thing. Now it's not really. It's more of a cuck thing.
Right.
And not the fun way, cuck, but in the bad way.
Yeah. No, well, it's very 1984.
Yeah, but somebody explain to Stevie what that means.
Stevie. No, I'm not going there today.
No, there's a regular segment in the show where they explain sex to me, so it's okay.
Okay.
I should play video games after wrestling matches. I wouldn't go out and party, so they make fun of me for it.
Aww.
I got one. That's all that matters.
That's right.
All that counts.
The Patriot.
What do you guys? Let's go around the horn. What do you guys think of that fan fiction or that? What I mean, how do we get to him if he's going to start a new media company? Here we are in the cut. Nobody can tell us what to do. How do we sell out? How do we get to him and really start to put together something that is going to go beyond Trump brand? You know what I mean? If you're going to start a third party or to fund a new media company, go Sally.
That I don't think, again, as much as we were all waiting for it, and I don't think he could be involved. It would have to be something where he is a background guy, and then once it's up and running, then it would get leaked out that he's in charge, CFO, CEO, whatever he wants to label.
Well, it's got to be Bannon in that spot, right?
It can't be him. It'll automatically tank. There's too much. There's too much opposition right now for people who are in charge. So we're looking at it as this thing of, oh, well, they'll assassinate him, or they'll do this, they'll do that. They won't. It's not about that old cloak and dagger shit. Now it's, we'll fuck his funds. We'll screw his media connections. Mm-hmm. They've literally taken his voice away off of Twitter and Instagram and everywhere else.
We're talking about unpersoning. This is straight 1984 Orwell. And what you were talking about, Jen, of woke meant one thing and they changed the vernacular and it means something else completely 2 years later on how they wordsmith it. They may even be using words in marketing ploys to be able to do that so they can get double payment out of it. Every 2 years, we're going to push this as a buzzword trend. And then once it flips the other way, we'll make money on it that way too.
I didn't think about that.
Marketing is the most racist, sexist, ageist thing you can partake in, really based off of Nazi eugenics experiments that were put into the psychology of TV programming and all marketing in the 1940s and 50s. So they're winning on both ends.
Well, just as an aside, didn't they do that with the come on, stupid, implanted suggestions for Coca-Cola in movies?
Oh yeah, sure.
And then they told them they had to stop because it was illegal. You can't do this to the American public. So then they just basically ran around the side and just did it every other way. Instead of putting it every sixth frame, they've now just gone blatantly out and said these things.
They were doing a subliminal message, and then
subliminal message. I couldn't fucking remember.
product placement, and they knew that they could get money for it instead of just trying to mess with the mind control. They're like, well, we'll cash in on it as well. Yeah. So they're probably doing it both places. Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I was going to say, well, taking someone's voice away, that's huge with Trump now. And we're seeing that with a lot of people having their voices being taken away. And that's actually some of the notes I had on the show, which I told Greek God Papa Don about. And I was watching the show and I told him about today, the Sabrina. Have you guys seen Sabrina on Netflix?
I have.
Thank you. Part 4, please.
I didn't care for it. I'm 3 episodes in and I'm like, ugh.
So I have pages of notes for the entire series because Sabrina Part 4 reads like a play-by-play chronologically of all of the mainstream media narratives of 2020 going into 2021. It is absurd. And I'm not someone who's been red pill, blue pilled recently. My grandpa worked for the World Bank. His computers were stolen out of his house probably in the 80s, right after he died. Your computers don't get stolen out of your house when you live in the same neighborhood as the CIA because you don't know anything. He was responsible for allocating the money that went to Latin America, and he confirmed that it was drug money. He confirmed it, and he's dead. So maybe I'm doxing, maybe I'm getting myself in trouble. But
I was going to say, wait a minute. Hang on a second.
The other
North is over there. Oh, she better not. Shannon Doherty, you better not say anything else.
There's other things. There's other things, trust me, but I'm not gonna. That one is 20-something years old. It's almost 30 years old, and he's not alive. So,
well, I mean, that's the dirt that their generation did coming off of smoking JFK, and they never take, whether it's Iran-Contra, George Bush's for-profit war, everything all the way on the scale up through here we are back again with the same old deep state. There was zero swamp drain. Zero swamp drain at this point, right? They're back forward.
You think? Do you think our boy BRV is laying back in the cut, saying, "Aha! I told you, man, I told you."
How about what his girl said though?
Oh, dude.
What? Tell him. Go.
How they have to regulate media after they're done using that spot, they have to control it now.
They have to control it all, and more initiatives based on taking down Caucasian business owners, and to make sure priority is given to minorities on all future small business like promotions and things along those lines for bank loans. Like what is going on? Like equality is turning the complete other.
Well, that's to go back to the steal your voice thing. If we were to all sit in the panel and Ben, you were to turn around and say, well, this, and this. And then Jen were to turn around and say, well, this, and this. And then Stevie were to turn around and say, well, that doesn't make sense, guys. Well, you're talking about white privilege, Stevie. It must be nice to be a white privileged male.
So now I would hope that Stevie would turn around and go bright eyes every now and then. I fall apart. I think that would be his spot after we did those first two turnarounds.
Speaking of falling apart, in the show Sabrina, which they celebrate, there was a celebration of castrated men. There's actually a man that removes his balls and gives it to the woman who demands him to remove his own balls and said, "Okay, is this okay? Will you marry me now? I've gotten rid of my balls."
Oh,
I was just about to make a joke thing, and in real life we call that marriage. I'm trying to steal the punchline before I can even deliver it.
But like the point is now they number one, I want to get to Sabrina in a second. I want to shit on that in a minute. Stevie and these guys but like now everything has been automatically shut down if you're not of race or gender or different gender. You're automatically dismissed and told you're a racist or you're a misogynist or any of these other ists that will take away your voice. You are immediately shut down on social media. Mm-hmm. You're immediately dismissed, excused, or it must be nice to have that privilege. So now anything you say after that comes from a place of who gives a fuck. This is a privileged white male. So, right. And it's from nowhere. Like even if, again, Papa Don, I can't speak for Papa Don. I grew up in a neighborhood of lower to middle class people.
I was right there with you.
Yeah, and it wasn't like we were living in some fancy house, but now I could be told that I'm a white male of privilege.
Yeah.
Sorry, wasn't giving shit. You know what I mean? So, to be told that is probably one of the most frustrating things. But then you go on and everybody's singing Kumbaya and who's given what college grant for this or what the other thing. So I was given none of those things. I didn't get any of those. So I don't understand where it all comes from. But now anything I say now is dismissed because I have white privilege.
Do you feel that in real life or only online?
What do you mean?
Well, in real life, when you're walking around, do you feel that sentiment, or do you feel that only in media?
No, that is only online because I have conversations with people
and weighs 350 pounds, so they're not going to say it to him in person.
Do you think you feel that though in real life, or do you think it's only the online weirdos?
I think it's only online because I deal with the public every single day, and everybody I've met has been miserable due to lockdown, due to this. Everybody feels like they're in the same boat. Mm-hmm. Nobody's saying, "Oh, well, look." Even a manager of a store or a business, nobody's looking at them going, "Oh, look how much you get off it." Everybody's miserable. Mm-hmm. And then you come online, and now everybody's segregated, and everybody is, and now, I've just come in from my 12-hour workday, and I make a comment, but I'm a privileged white male, so what the fuck? You don't matter.
Okay.
Sorry, what?
You know what? It's the system. The system is broken.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely broken. It's outdated. It's archaic. The problem is this. Everything that we have just mentioned is a device to keep us divided. Mm-hmm. And it will continue to do so till the end of time, because in reality, more people think alike, more people on this planet just want one thing, and that's the betterment of their family. They want a better life for their kids. They want a better life than they had growing up. And that's why they go to work and they work hard. They want, obviously, to be successful, to be healthy, and whatever the case may be. But in actuality, the perception is now the reality, and the perception derives from social media. And that perception that is derived from social media comes from a small minute of individuals making the loudest noise possible, whether it's bots, whether it's just those people that were shunned all these years, and now this is their release because they know they can't say it to Sal in his face because they'll punch him in the fucking throat. Whatever the case may be. But that's exactly where we are right now, and that's exactly where we're going to be for the next 4, 8, 10, 12 years. Nothing's going to change. Absolutely nothing, unfortunately. Unless we all... What?
Go ahead, Stevie.
No, I just have a question for Jen, because we had talked last week, and your bio is mostly, you have mystic and type of higher thinking type outlook and perspective. Now, this stuff really does resemble a scene from Ghostbusters, the world, the way it's been over the past few years. I think there could be something connected to maybe frequency, something more mystic, something that, because everybody just seems to have been off, and they just keep getting more and more off the beaten path, and the anger, the hate, the Ghostbusters with the green slime, and nobody can pink slime. Well, green. But I mean, do you think there's a real case that could be it? Because common sense just doesn't seem to exist anymore, and everybody just seems to be based on emotion, and it just seems like their frequencies may be completely off right now.
Right. This is what I've noticed. All right. So it seems to be there's two camps. I mean, there's many camps of people. I don't like to divide people into two because it's very overly simplistic, but there's people who seem to be tuned into mainstream media, mostly mainstream media, and then people are just totally off farming, or they're watching alternative, and the mindsets are complete dichotomy between the two, and there's actually living in two worlds. And of course there's the echo chambers that if you're on social media, there's the echo chambers of you're living in this world of, red versus blue. But I am still part of the spiritual community. It's very simply put, I studied psychic development, and I'm a Reiki master and reverends, and I was into all the spiritual woo-woo groups in Long Island because I wanted to learn. I really was kind of mean about it up until 2014. I said, let's learn about these people. Let's have an open mind. And from 2014, even recently, but 2014 to 2017, I really went to a lot of classes, and I really learned, and I still do. And they send me things. So I will say, almost unanimously, the spiritual community, they preach, these people who are apparently tuned in and getting their information from a higher power. I'm kind of both. I'm very grounded. I'm part of both worlds. They seem to think that, one, they think that Trump's still going to be president, that we will see a breaking down of the paradigms, which I've felt for a long time. I don't know. I think it's going to start this year, and we're in the next 10 years. I hope to see a crumbling and then a rebuild. And that does seem to be the spiritual mindset. We're going to crumble everything, break it down. It's going to be tough. We're going to rebuild it. We're going to see the medical industry break down, which I've been hoping for.
So basically you're saying
breakdown.
You need to destroy it before it rebuilds. Who else says that? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's the spiritual mindset. That do I have that? I entertain everything. Do I have an opinion? I have like 70 opinions because I have doubt. I think I'm an intelligent person that always has doubt, and I don't stick with any one rhetoric, and time unfolds all truth. So I'm not going to say what's going to happen because I don't know. I'm not God, although some people call me that. But, the spiritual people, they were a lot of them were for Trump. I don't really know many spiritual people that were for Biden, which is very interesting. Very. And they're calling for the breakdown. They think that a lot of them think that we're going to see so many vaccine injuries and deaths this year that it's going to have the vaccine industry crumbling, the medical industry crumbling, which I definitely feel intuitively. The whole medical system is going to change in the next 2 to 10 years. And that's why I put my health stuff on hold, because I said, let's wait till the world embraces it, and then I'll start talking. But I don't need to talk to myself or talk to a world where only 10 or 20% of the world is open to actual cures, and they're all brainwashed and cuckolded by the pharmaceutical industry. No, thank you.
I'm just checking my BlackRock Health Sciences stock right now. I gotta make sure. Okay, it's still going up.
So, before we go any further, our fans, they're not the sharpest tools in the shed, if you know what I mean.
Thanks for listening.
Why don't
Why
you give everybody a little bit of rundown of your background? They know we're all pro wrestlers. They know Ben has studied comedy.
Okay.
They've seen Stevie on TV. They've seen Sal on TV. You know, they know I'm a mark for Star Wars. So what?
He said he had to stick that one in, didn't you? Fucker.
Stick what in?
Those guys been on TV, not me, not me.
He's known for comedy.
Okay, let's say we can pick this up on another show. Let's just get back to that.
Go ahead.
So enlighten our fans.
Sure.
What your background is.
I'm 36. I've always been involved in health. My grandparents were like Prevention Magazine. Before Prevention Magazine, I've always been kind of woke on government.
Time out. You can't use that word on the show.
Sorry. What
Exactly.
Enlightened or there's been doubt. There's always been doubt because I had a family member that worked for CDC, was told that vaccines were dirty back in the 80s. So that trickled to me. So when you have a family member that tells you these things, and then you have a family member who's now dead that works for the World Bank and is allocating money for the world, you get some information, you get some vibes that things might not be all as they seem. But professionally, I worked in health. I taught workout classes that were ab and butt makeovers. So yes, I had a client with a botched liposuction on her butt, and I got into butt makeovers and ab makeovers for 2.5 years. I added nutrition. I wrote a health guidebook. It's called The Keys to Live the Life. That was strictly for fat loss in the beginning, but then I started working on cancer patients and people who get sick all the time and have to take antibiotics, which is a whole nother racket. The antibiotics, giving them to people like candies when you really don't need it a lot of the time, where they throw them out at these urgent cares. You can do other things. So I put up my whole list of ways to treat infections without antibiotics on my website. And that's the one piece that's being kind of hacked. I get like really weird messages on that one thing that takes away from the antibiotic industry. So I got my health guidebook. And then 2016, I've always had little warnings. I have furniture outside my house from a doctor who used to treat cancer naturally. So I get reminded all the time that there's alternatives, but she's kind of shut down. That's interesting. And I was doing health. So very simply put, I was doing health and fitness for 8 years. And I kind of got warnings, and I saw how a lot of the people that were treating things without pharmaceuticals were getting in trouble. And I got some bigger warnings, and I'm not going to mention now. And I said, let's go back into media, because I've always been in media. I've always modeled a little bit. I've always acted a little. I've done events, charity events, and hosted events. And then I kept on getting movie roles. So now I'm in 7, 8, 9 movies. I did stand-up comedy at Governor's on Saturday. I'm doing another show. So now technically I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'm embracing the media and the dumb girl role. And I'll still always share health. I do have some health clients that I see, and I have fitness clients that I see, but that's a small part-time. And I'm basically going to wait till the world catches up with what I think are actual real cures and proper mindsets, and wait for things to crumble and then rebuild. And then I'm going to go, bam, full force back into health. So right now I'm more of a media, very part-time trainer and health person, very on the low.
Ben, have you ever worked Governors?
I did some work privately with the governor himself, but I got that on tape so I can get the push. But no, that's awesome. I'm glad. How was the house being able to do stand-up? Was that a strange experience in 2021?
Yeah, everything I do is a strange experience. I mean, how I met Greek God Papa Don, I was dressed as a cat with my fake doctor and asking him crazy questions. So everything I do is weird, and I have grace, and absurdity is what I live for, and satire, making fun of the status quo because it's all a mess.
I agree. That's the most powerful weapon in all of media is satire and parody. You know,
I live for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stevie loves cats. He has like 3 of them, right? 2 of them, 3 of them. How many do you have, Stevie?
Not enough.
Show us your pussy cat.
What's that?
Show us your pussy cat.
Oh, this is one. This is Baby Odin.
Aww.
Baby Odin. Then we got Mia. I'm so happy that people aren't saying orange cat bad like they've been saying for the past 4 years. I might have heard
that cat is
heard
more
that
than
wrong.
anybody on this show.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, so
Oh my god.
Yeah, we had two ferals outside. Actually, three technically. We would take care of. We lost two of them. Then, well, we lost all three of them. You know.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah. So here to cheer everybody up. This is great.
Chat room really excited
so great.
about everything.
I want to ask you, since social media is a big thing right now, and everybody seems to be walking and tiptoeing around this minefield. Have you had any kind of blowback or any kind of stuff that's been banned or shadow banned in any way?
I actually was probably about a month ago. I used to have somewhere between 110 to 380-ish people watching my Instagram stories. And now it's only 30 overnight. I was doing a lot of virus posting and a lot of truthy stuff. And that's it. My views are down out of nowhere. No one can see my stuff unless they look for it.
Yeah, we're off Twitch right now because of digital copyright stuff too, and pulling the second channel, the backup just for the wrestling stuff. Meanwhile, they want us on the main page to help promote wrestling with the free speech shows like this that put us on it. And then they even did a double are you sure this is adult content on a Conspiracy Horseman episode 2 weeks ago out of nowhere on YouTube. So every time anything tries to get monetized, they have to go through 3 or 4 extra steps. You know, it's just ridiculous as they rewrite the rules for whoever they see fit. And the new technocracy is something people just put in passing, but really that is the new global power structure that's behind these old fuckers, because they can barely bring their email up. If you've ever tried to get your grandma online, that's who's running the country. So who do you think when they call the Nerd Squad, who's going to show up? It's going to be Silicon Valley, and they're going to want a piece of the pie, and they're going to know how to work all these old timers to get them to do what they want to, man. That's the biggest shadow deep state threat in the next 4 years.
Let me ask a question. So much like when we were talking, people would say, oh, well, Trump's an idiot. He can't do this, can't do that. It wasn't him. He wasn't going out alone. He has a whole staff of idiots waiting to tell him what to say, what not to say. Do you think these fossils don't have some young intern who's either, shaving their balls for them or doing something else going, hey, could you do me a favor? Check my email. And they don't do it. Hey, could you respond to Twitter for me?
Yeah.
They're not doing it. They have their own little fucking boys who they're sniffing around with to go do this shit for them.
Totally. I just had a young boy over too, a couple of years younger. He helps me write my comedy. I totally get it. These youngsters, they're really hip to what's happening. Gotta stay hip, I'm almost 40 years old. Of course.
Yeah, that's an easy way. You could just Tinder comedy writers if you need to, and then they'll write some jokes and send them on their way. That's an easy way to bring them in.
Well, I look young. I don't need the Tinder. They just think I'm 21. All these young boys want to help with my comedy. It's great.
Where can they find you online? Let's get some plugs in midway.
Sure. Well, Jenna Elise Feldy on Facebook. Everything's listed there, so you can just go there and just find everything. And of course, Jenna Elise on Instagram and IMDb, of course, and YouTube, Jenna Elise Feldy.
Yeah, every week you seem like I was looking at your schedule there. You got great appearances across a lot of interesting shows. Sal, you want to talk about the Gaia stuff at all and the mysticism? I know that
the chat room is telling him he needs to set her straight about Sabrina.
Okay, first of all, I just want to say
on Sabrina here.
So Feldy is your last name. I thought as soon as you came on, I'm looking. I'm like, oh, F.E. I thought it was Iron Lady.
Iron Lady.
I like
F.E. That's why I'm like, oh, she's so fucking badass with the Iron Lady, and Feldy's her last name, so that's
good marketing.
Kind of. I feel like people call me Wonder Woman, like people that don't know each other.
That's how when I saw the name, the way you have it spelt, I was like, F.E. is Iron, and then I was like, and then Lady. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you could do like a Breaking Bad style T-shirt if you wanted to, and sell it on slingtees.com.
I love that. I've never thought of that. Hello.
Yeah, I'm a dork. Anyway, the point I was going to make with
children's book, I know a great artist.
Wow.
Why do you hate me? That's it's just rude to hate me.
We're on month 14 right now.
So whoever sent it in the chat, I do not have an OnlyFans, and I probably never will.
No, they were
she said probably.
Probably. You never know.
Probably.
The
thing with Sabrina. Followed Sabrina for all the episodes, was very into it because they were breaking the rules of normal popcorn teen twink TV.
This
You know, the whole
reboot of the old show.
yes.
Okay.
And the fact that the fact that they were doing the whole worshiping Satan thing, worshiping the dark, and still being normal people and living like great, fine. They were doing this, and when they started kind of leaning towards the Lovecraft stuff, I was super psyched. I'm a big Lovecraft fan.
Oh yeah, okay.
So when they were heading towards the Elder Gods and the Eldritch and all that sort of stuff, I was like, this is going to be awesome.
Right.
New season came out, and I started watching it, and I'm like, this is garbage. It seems to be, hey, we got everybody. They're gonna watch. Now we can push our message.
Right, which I'm confused what the message is. That's one thing I don't have a firm stance on, but I can tell you all of the themes that are mentioned.
Well, I literally stopped watching episode 2 because I'm like, this is not the same show I was really into.
It's not. It's listed all the themes. It starts with masks. So basically there's something you can breathe in that you have to watch. And the first episode or second episode, there's actually men in gas masks walking around the town, breaking public property, which if you remember the Umbrella Man during the Black Lives Matter, there was a guy with an umbrella with a gas mask breaking public property. He was almost identical, the same image in the show. Hello, what? Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart was more of the innocent days. I don't know. This is very strange. And I don't know what they're saying. So I'm not saying what they're saying. Maybe I don't know.
Are they doing programming to take a whole generation of SJWs and just do satanic incantations with whatever symbolism they want to push everybody and whatever the subscription services are to do this great reset in a mind control way? Because short of what we saw from the PBS thing, we'll take their kids and lock them up and re-educate them. Well, what kind of solution is that? So they're going to do it through Hulu. I mean, 5 companies own all of media. And if they're all against Trump, then they're all on the same side of what's going to go through Operation Mockingbird for the Chinese-owned Netflix and NBA and whatever else they have their hands in, the Saudis that own most of Beverly Hills and Rodeo Drive, property-wise, and they say what gets greenlit and what doesn't. Are we going to see a lot of anti-police with all, reparations, black tails come to it, where now you're going to learn what your ancestors did for, okay, we know, instead of the unification of where we need to go. And then, the queer deer over at Twitch is the one who gets to be the moderator of good taste. There was the other story, Stevie, you sent, I think it was you, of who Biden was naming the
assistant health secretary, first transgender Rachel Levine, which see, the thing is that everybody's up in arms about whatever, but assistant health secretary really doesn't, in my mind, it really is a figurehead hire. It's a checkbox, but it's not really anything. They created the assistant health secretary to place because he had to check off all the boxes.
Well, you as a health professional, does this come off somebody who, you're going to take health
for oral hygiene? That's what she's in charge of.
Good stuff. Good look here with the triple chin. I like the gullet and the.
After watching 5 hours of wrestling.
Yeah, that's us on Friday night.
Oh my God, that would be if I continued on the initial coronavirus diet of keto pizza, which is just bowls of melted cheese. Continue.
I like that too. This is nice as well. We're getting right to it.
Who's that?
That's Kamala. Kamala at the White House. That's their president in 2 years.
Which funny fact about it, he's a professional wrestler that passed on, but his name was Kamala. His real name, James Harris. So Kamala Harris. So there's a bunch of conspiracy people that are talking about how that was predictive programming, that Kamala's gimmick was prefacing the first female vice president, which I don't see the connection on that.
The conspiracy is now the conspiracy, gentlemen. That's it. We have all these people outside thinking they know a thing or two about a thing or two, and they don't have a goddamn clue.
They're not that easy on the eyes, though.
No, they're not. They're not easy on the eyes. But what I wanted to say to piggyback on what Vin said, everything's changing now. Within the last 72 hours, we've seen verbiage change on the left. We've seen agenda change. Before it was all defund the police, defund the police, defund the police. Now it's all about the police. It's about the hero officer that shot the person in the Capitol last Wednesday. It's about censoring the media after the media already has done its damage to the right. And now because they're censored off media and social media, we can use this as a 180 to try to build a new heel so we can try to get shine as a baby face, because now they don't have any heels to build themselves off of. The left have nobody. Who are they going to? All the Republicans in the office put their tails between their legs and they're running home because they're a bunch of cowards. Who are the left going to make fun of? Who are the left going to try to get heat on? Nobody, because there's no heels. They can't shine up.
Let me follow that up with a question for you, Jen, because people you probably say it yourself, you only have so much energy in a day to devote to anything.
Right.
They have us so exhausted right now. And what Poppin' On's saying, do you think that they can make anybody think or feel whatever way they want them to think at this point? Do you agree with that?
I do, actually. That's why it's part of the reason why I tuned out in June. Right around June, I said, that's it. I'm starting to feel my psyche change, because with so much craziness happened, and I'll just, on a side note, I did do a commercial with Chinese context. I had a translator. It was all Chinese and me, January 24th, about coronavirus. I didn't know what it was the day before, and it was just promoting that something's happening. We have to wear masks. And I was actually, this blonde girl came in from the airport and spread the coronavirus. That was my role in the video. So I was in from January 23rd up until June, where I started going crazy, because I was really trying to warn people and get my family ready and make sure that all my friends and family didn't get blindsided. And then finally I was like, all right, everyone's where they need to be. This is crazy. I'm going nuts. Every day I log on, my psyche is messed up, and I said, I'm going to be Howard Hughes. That's it. So yes, I do think, and I did have logged on, and I've spent maybe 5 days where I spent 7 hours checking the news, trying to be informed or misinformed. And it made me nuts. It made me.
Well, that's your problem. What you need to do is just listen to us every week, and you'll always be informed correctly.
But then we'll cut our nuts off and have to give them to somebody if you do that.
No, I'm not into that. I like manly men.
Well, you're in the right spot then. Chat room is 74 strong here at youtube.com/Ben as we're banned on Twitch, looking for new frontiers. Appreciate you guys following us wherever we have to go, interacting on Facebook. Give her a follow as well. Jenny Lise Feldy, plenty going on if you want to see her on other shows. In the Gaia type stuff of the spirituality of it, well, we always break it down here. GGP and Stevie are, good Christian boys, and Sal and I are the atheists, full on out. So, and you kind of operate in a level that punches both sides of the fence, I think, a little bit, where it's guy of Christian, be a sexy witch, and at the same time, I do healing using old style alchemy and natural remedies. Am I stereotyping you quite enough there? Did I leave anything out?
I'd say I'm more focused on the tangible, but a lot of mindfulness. But I do, like, one thing I believe in that's a little woo-woo is like attracts like. And it's not just a tangible thing, but yeah, I think, and also if you put ideas out there. And I did get 2 messages this week in a song, which is very strange. I didn't even know one of the songs. I was going to quit a comedy show, and I hear lyrics from the Mary Tyler Moore song. It says, "It's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement." I don't like that song. I don't know it. I looked it up, and I'm getting messages about, and I confirmed days later things that happen in songs. So weird things are happening. I do entertain some cosmic stuff, but when it comes to healing and my clients, I'm very grounded. I don't really. I
get culty with it too, because as a professional improviser, group mind is a really big part of what I try and do, to stay open and in the moment, to be able to react and feel different energies of what's coming through with the subtext of a scene. So there is, even though I might not believe in some things, I have practiced other things, so I can respect that, of like, hey, I heard this and I know this is a pattern. I heard this over here and it sticks out. And to be able to pinpoint those things and take those as symbolic messages, a cue to do something. The universe is aligning is how I look at it. Stevie and GGP might call it divine intervention and the Christ leading you on a path.
Well, I was telling when we schedule this, I'll just make this my wackiest thing and I'll probably leave it at that for the day. But I was messaging GP and I was saying, I have all these things about Sabrina and I'm watching the show, I'm taking notes. And I said, I feel like I'm going to get a $700 gift. I feel like I'm going to get a $700 gift. And I said that to 2 other people. Guess what? I got a call by 6 p.m. with the wrong person offering me a $690 gift. What? Okay. Whatever. I don't know.
And if you had an OnlyFans page, you'd get that probably daily.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
I wish I could try that for just a day and then like.
Well, we're brand building. If you need us at Hameen Media Group, even Patreon. But yeah, no,
right?
No, don't feed the chat room. They're horny enough. They've been on lockdown.
I can't see the chat room. How do I see?
You're better off.
I love it. It's fun.
If the chat room was smart, they would invest in themselves instead of investing in stupidity and purchase the SRF fitness brand, which is Stevie has his own fitness brand, and it works wonders. We've seen testimonies from people where they've dropped a numerous amount of weight to the point where they're healthy, and now they're on the right side of the spectrum. And all these people are worried about you putting up a OnlyFans page. What they need to do is get themselves in shape so they can go actually pick up girls and actually get laid, as opposed to trying to be creepers on an Only page. So to you guys out there, invest in yourself, buy some SRF bands.
Invest in him like Dr. Janda did.
Shout out
on the site from like what's her name, what's her face, and what did he say? Those 3 people. So
who's that?
Also
Oak Island, Jen. Oak Island.
No, we're stopping. No, we can't have it all.
Do you watch the show Oak Island?
On Oak Island. You can't. This girl's talking about frequency and life-changing events, and you're going to talk about these douchebags that just find a coin on an island. I'm not going to do this.
So, okay, that's a good point.
Jen. I know you wanted to talk about it. That they shut us down. I know we were going to have a big conversation.
So
I'll talk about anything. I don't care.
So you're on frequency, like Stevie said. So do you partake in the teachings of Tesla about the 369 frequency? Have you ever heard about that?
I don't know much about it. I was in Tesla's room, and then I think it's a New Yorker hotel. I forget which hotel in New York City, but he used to live in there. And I got into the room, and my friends and I were jumping on the bed. So I really don't know that much. I know it was paper.
So you're telling me you and your friends went to Tesla's room to have a pillow fight?
Yep.
This is great OnlyFans content.
I have video of it too. We're bouncing on the bed. The girl's very beautiful too. If she had an OnlyFans, she'd clean up. Rosalinda, this girl's beautiful Latina. Ooh. Oh yeah.
It's interesting. Everybody in the chat I went in on this a little bit earlier today, not because I'm down with Trump. I'm down with the fucking true revolution that's been coming since to September 11th, 2001, and JFK before that. But just to see them like rejoice and to see the other side, like a lot of my friends who are in comedy have towed that line because they think it's going to get them over in Hollywood. So I'm happy that they're breaking out of these personal prisons that they kind of put themselves in, but now they're just like lashing out with vitriol, and they're not the same people that they were before, and I see that as a very dangerous way going forward, because this side, based off of what they think everybody Trump is wise, when it's really small business owners, people who want free speech, people who want deregulation, all that kind of stuff, they're just towing a line. What do you see in a division on social media? Because I got hot. I go, the same people who are pissed because he went, "You're fired," and they want to hate him because he was a heel on TV and he was in wrestling with us and what we fucking do. And because of the original, grab him by the pussy, those same people who are hot about that are doing TikTok videos twerking to wet ass pussy. So what double standard do you want to live by, where they act like they have some big moral compass because they're hot about that, but throw on some Cardi B who, drugs dudes and steals out of their wallets and is obviously Luciferian Illuminati queen to them to dance and make her sexualized 8-year-old. Like they're just, you know, we know what these games are when Sony pushes these artists, like the double standard. And, you know, I just wanted you to go from your end of that, because that's it. I'm not trying to, I think the girls who make that money on that Instagram shit doing softcore porn pushing to OnlyFans are marketing genius, because pussy's been selling since the beginning of time. So
1,000%.
you know, but you're obviously a highly intellectual woman with plenty of sex appeal. What about walking that line where you have to be integrity, but at the same time, all you got to do is do the busted challenge and show up in some negative, and you get fucking 17 million views. What a double! What are humans supposed to do with that type of mind control going on?
Honestly, it's very tough, because think about it too. Remember, I did an ab and butt makeover program. So abs, I'm kind of comfortable. I feel like you could do that in a classy way, but the butt has been super sexualized. Like, it wasn't cool when I was younger. So I actually got into fitness partially because my butt looks too big naturally. I'm like a natural J-Lo.
You got the Greek channel?
What's that?
I said you got the Greek channel?
What channel? What channel?
The Greek channel.
The Greek? No, I don't know anything about it.
It was a joke. Keep
going.
I
know. It went over my head, and I tried to catch it, and I kept going over my head, and I never caught it. But
you play for the Jets. I get it. Go.
But yeah, I should be showing more pictures of my butt, considering I do ab and butt makeovers, right? But it's like I don't want to fall into that because I'm so disgusted. I just am very disgusted by those groups that are just, I don't know, boobs or butts and just throwing it
right into idiocracy, like right out of the script.
It's like a fart joke. I feel like showing pictures of my boobs and my butt is like, abs take a lot of work. It takes a lot of diet. Butt takes a lot of work and diet too, but it's stigmatized right now that it's just cheap and it's stupid and it's like a fart joke. I'm not into fart jokes.
I think if you were going to do it parody wise and to get over because sex sells, do the ass thing, but put a serious message of like, World Trade Center 7, 9/11 was an inside job or whatever you want to like drive it home.
1,000%, yes.
The only way that you're gonna smash both sides, where people who want to smash, and then you got to hit their minds of like, oh, I hate to take this jagged little pill, because otherwise we just keep repeating the same idiocy over and over again.
I should exploit the looks a little much, but I'm just so turned off by these girls that that's all they are. And then they complain that guys don't want them for their personality, or guys, I have a lot of guys.
Usually they have none.
Honestly,
they have no personality.
It's true. Yes, sadly. To find personality and looks in one package, girl or guy, is very tough.
They can't all be damaged with daddy issues and things like that. These have to be smart women, because some of them are raking in crazy money. Crazy money.
My dad came to my last comedy show. That's probably a big thing that keeps me in check. I'm like best BFF with my dad. So, and I see the world through my dad's lens. So
I represent Goldilocks, and she is a incredibly talented musician, but she has to walk the, hot, bikini side too. But how far do you go with it? And she says, I wouldn't do anything that my father couldn't see. So I guess that's the line in between, unless your father's really twisted and,
or Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question.
My dad's a man. I have a skit where I play a Russian girl that's pleasuring and kind of jerking off the president. He's fine with that, but he didn't like my Hitler joke. So that's his line.
What's the Hitler joke?
The Hitler joke is basically, if Hitler was around today, doing a second Holocaust would be kind of easy, because all he'd have to do is go to Chinese restaurants on Christmas Day. They're all there. And that's inspired because
That's a good joke. That's a good joke.
And then the follow-up, which I just wrote this, and the delivery is all weird, but it's basically, and then he could take out the Chinese, because he would have a second draft. He'd leave the door open, and then the Jews would go, Marty, I have to change tables again. And the Chinese would go, I give them a poo-poo platter. Serving chow fun is no fun. Oh, low, I am feeling low, Maine. Fuck it. And then the
low main wordplay. Great premise.
Also, now you can actually do a follow-up, because now isn't Biden's entire cabinet?
Yeah, they're all Jews, right?
They all chosen?
Cabinet is all chosen. Yeah.
So there you go. You can have that one.
Can I tell my JFK joke, since we're so far off topic?
when you were there on the grassy knoll. What was it?
I saw it. It was Umbrella Academy. They did it. They were there. I heard rumors throughout history. I'm a big history buff, but I heard rumors throughout history that JFK was a Golden Gloves boxer.
Wow.
I have a lot of trouble believing that because, quite frankly, the guy couldn't even take a shot to the head.
Well, that was odd because I also heard that Martin Luther King was Jewish and shot in the temple.
You didn't like that?
No.
Salt shakers at me at the Biltmore when I did that one.
Actually, what I did want to ask Jen about. We were talking about music briefly. Ben mentioned it. My question is, I kind of got really from this show, as a matter of fact, the whole Fibonacci sequence, all music. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm gonna say no.
Okay, so basically, it's like it's numbers. Numbers create music. Every song has the same cadence of numbers.
Mm-hmm, okay.
And if you look at the bass clef is that kind of is the turn. That's the Fibonacci sequence, the spiral, and it's in all of nature. It's in all of pictures, like artwork. It's in all of music.
Right.
It's what is it like 13? I think it's 13 keys, right? So 8 are the white keys, 5 are the black keys, and then the scale gets to be made up of the third and like the fifth note. Like it's all a mechanical.
It's called a mode
number sequence.
If you put it all out and lay it all out, you can lay out each mode and each key based off of the number sequences that way.
And I'm a complete schmuck when it comes to math. I have no idea, but the fact that sequence is in all of life, all of it, like you look at a flower is created the exact same way, using the exact same sequence.
I know about the flower of life. I know all about it. I studied. I just didn't know the Fibonacci thing was part of it. Okay.
And that goes into music. And I thought, can that be used as a control thing? Whereas, we're talking about vibrations in people. The vibrations in people can be controlled or, adjusted. So can you got
to include 5G frequency in that?
This is where I was
military weapon, right, to control crowds, and now it's used as short cell frequency on CIPRI towers. Go ahead, dear.
Golden ratio. I'm sorry, that's what it was called. Golden. I couldn't remember it. It was bouncing it out.
So sublime.
The flower of life is in a cauliflower. You put the shape of a cauliflower. That's actually the last video that a friend of mine who was either killed or died after serving the DNC lawsuit. That's the last video he sent me. And right before people die, I've had maybe 6 or 7 friends that died. And right before, it's a weird thing. I could even go through all my messages and screenshot it. It's the same type of messaging that they say to me. It's a similar type of thing. It's very weird. And then they die. And this one, he sent me that flower of life, a whole video. He said, please check this out. I don't know. And then he died. You could look him up. Show him.
Please don't send me that video.
I know.
Please don't send me. Or actually, if it's after Monday Night Raw, I might request that you send me that video, to be honest with you, because I can't take much more, Stevie. Circle of Life, GGP, one of your favorites, The Lion King,
Yeah, definitely. Simba, Pumbaa, Timon. I've seen it like 100 times this year with all 37 of my kids. So
oh my God.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, look. All right. So where do we go from here? This is where I want to. Where are we going from here with this whole?
I wanted to hold Jen's feet to the fire on one thing, because it is. I just wanted to hear from a perspective of an attractive female that we are not. Who I can't hate on those girls, but is it a double standard? Because we went through the marketing aspect in wrestling of the women's revolution here in the last 5 years, and we saw it with LGBTQ movements being hijacked by marketing corporations. And in Times Square at the M&M store, they were, pushing it as far as that to sell more shirts with rainbows on them. They did the same thing for the Me Too movement, speaking out movement. And I don't know, is it insulting to downplay Insta whores, but at the same time, they're making their bank and we have these other women who are trying to be Susan B. Anthony, and we're supposed to be respecting them in one way in the cuck. But over here, hey, jack off to my big fake titties and blowing up Brazilian ass? Like, what is going on with women and how they view each other in that respect?
Right. Well, sex sells. As a producer, because I'm on the production end as well, I would want to hire attractive women because, you want to have sales, you want to have views. And I'm a very visual person. I actually get a physical reaction, whether it's dopamine or whatever the hormone that's released. I get a physical reaction when I see beauty, whether it's plants or a beautiful person. And there's a lot of beliefs in wellness that it can change your level of healing to see beauty. So visuals are not a shallow thing. You really get intellectual when it comes to beauty. But sex sells. I don't want to be part of the Me Too movement. So I find myself a lot of times saying, I concur. That's terrific. I agree. Because I don't want to add to the movement. So right. I sound all formal just because of that. As far as just if you're only going to exploit your body and that's it, I have a problem with it. If you're going to do it and have something to say, the thing I say, once you have people's eyes on you, that's fine. I don't care. You can do nude modeling. I have nothing wrong with it. If it's beauty, it's beauty. If it's trashy, it's trashy. But once you have everyone's eyes, like the Kardashians, you have to say something meaningful, or honestly, I wish for you to lose your platform. Get your platform and do something with it, or else you're just distracting and you're another distraction. That's a part of the problem. Don't be part of the problem. That's my take on all that.
I think that's a great answer. I just think that even when they got their platform, all I can think of is whatever the youngest one that's the billionaire off of makeup did the Pepsi commercial that was.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what they get when they get that platform. And I don't put that on them because, again, we're talking a corporatocracy and who's going to exploit that in their marketing, and all those people via Bill Hicks should be executed as well. But thank you for that answer. And I don't think you were trying to bury, either side. I just wonder how women have to view each other, where they push one agenda, but on the other side, you still got to do the busted challenge.
We know everyone's a little different. One, I always say that once you get your platform, don't do a soda commercial. No, it's not good for anyone. You're actually going to cause diabetes because people look up to you. So don't do that. But also, every woman is different because every woman has a different level of insecurity. I just had this conversation right before I got on. I love having beautiful girls around me. I love having girls around me that maybe they could steal my boyfriend. I don't care. You be beautiful. I love it. I love to see people celebrating and doing well. But I had another friend recently I had to get rid of. She's a hater. It's insecurity. A lot of girls can't take seeing it. So it depends. Sometimes if I want to be cool with women, I will dress a little down. I will intentionally look a little bit not cool just so they can calm down, because some of them, they can't relax around girls who are done up. They just can't.
Stevie keeps me around because he only surrounds himself with ugly looking men. Stevie.
Well, I'm the old guy. I remember I had a chance to save JFK and I decided to tell the joke instead. I really messed this one up, but at least I didn't go and try to save the Von Erichs from the Freebirds in the cage in Texas.
Oh, you know what, dude? You know what?
These are all inside jokes, Jen. Sorry.
It's okay.
We're burning each other. So
he listens to the show, so she may know some of the jokes. But you know what, there, Sunshine? Let me tell you this. Don't come down on yourself. That joke was really, really well executed, and it was a funny joke. So
they wanted to murder me in '97 at the Los Angeles Biltmore when I told the joke. They weren't exactly a wrestling crowd. So I tried it anyway. The other one is the coronavirus killed 300,000 people. That's the joke.
That's it.
Did it though?
No, it didn't. It killed heart attack.
Players to that joke.
I'm just happy that the flu's gone because that was really scary.
Flu's gone, cancer's gone, heart disease is gone. Everything's been cured in 2020. Congratulations.
What was that other thing with that AIDS thing? That's done, right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody get that.
That's because you don't play tennis. Like, what's his name?
Oh, all right.
Well, Jen probably knows this too. I know we're skipping around, but the guy who suppressed the HIV
is that a gay joke?
in 81 and 82 is in charge of the coronavirus.
Fauci.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, bizarre. I know. I remember hearing about this. He had a prophylactic he was kind of peddling, right? Wasn't that it? I think it was a prophylactic.
It's the whole thing about what's the most viable, profitable thing that we can do to prolong this and make the most amount of money. That's the gist of what the assistant Ben Wright had exposed with him
Yeah, but let's talk about what it really is. It's we're talking about eugenicists who want population control, and they were trying to take people out of the gay and black communities who are high risk that they didn't want. Now they champion those people and use them as a human shield while they are trying to tear down the class around them. And what's next? I'm even thinking of this. What's this disease supposedly do? Get rid of your sense of taste and smell. And what is Bill Gates now? He owns the most agricultural farmland, so he can make Soylent Green or whatever it is we're going to be eating in the great restructure. Maybe part one is to meet part two for 3D printed meats or whatever the fuck is coming down from the soy farms that's got meat juice and smoke flavors.
Breaking news. Hold on a second. Breaking news. Kobe Bryant, they determined he died of COVID. Sorry.
Not for nothing, but there was a show on Amazon Prime called Insomnia. No, well, not Insomnia. Yeah, was it Insomnia? Shit.
It was the hell of a show. They did it.
John Cusack was on the show.
Was on there. That one broad on the show.
That one broad was on the show. Yes, John Cusack was one of the characters, and it was about a comic book that basically programmed everything that came down the pipeline as far as world events, right? And then the person who made the comic book went into a nut house. He made a sequel comic book. It sounds crazy, but
I'm saying the chat room's finally coming around, and
they're finally getting it.
Oh my god, I see it.
Oh, the
good shotgun got me.
Sorry.
Like I was saying, the whole premise of the show is the guy who is this big time tech billionaire was John Cusack. It opened up with him making artificial food, artificial meat. Mm-hmm. And then it ended up being that he was producing a vaccine to sterilize the population against this outbreak.
This outbreak right off Netflix with your CIA actors.
So it's very funny that you're saying now what's his name? Bill Gates is going to buy
the most farmland.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even put the connection together. Now that you brought it out to the forefront, there it is. You know what I'm saying?
There's the script. The scripts are written so you can get conditioned through them. They call it programming for a reason, people. On my programs, yeah. So when this rolls out, you're all good with it. So when they have the COVID wall of those who've been vaccinated and live in the free zone in the city versus those who haven't and live on the outside, and you're split and you have to do black market trades and all this shit that's coming up in a dark web, because that's the only, it's already there, but internet part 2 is coming. And it'll seem like some new frontier, but all that is them still going to have to control all the fiber optics, all the lines in order to be able to do that. That just opens a whole nother market for them to market to the underground as well as the mainstream that they create. They're going to whack us on both ends. And whatever the $600 check I got today was, being a small business owner, whatever the $1,400 that's coming, they're going to get all of that back in about 3 fucking months and 5 days or less than that, right? On April 15th. So it's all theater of the absurd based on money that has no backed value, but it's hush hush so you don't fucking glock up and fucking come down to the Capitol and see what's going on, where they're your other 18,000, because everybody was supposed to get 20 grand originally, and now we're settling for $2,000. Guess where that other 18 is right now?
Sri Lanka speedboats.
Yeah, right.
And you have 60 seconds to fix all the stuff in the world. Go,
Jen. Please fix it.
60 seconds to fix everything.
Oh, you wanted it? We could have said 45.
Either that, or you can talk about Sabrina.
Get on the internet, get to know your real life friends, talk to them. Do not text, give them a phone call or video call. No texting allowed. Only quick, make plans and have at least one fun day a week with friends. Make all of your fun time, hobby time that's productive. Stop having crap food, and treat yourself well. Work out at least 3 times a week, and just get right.
That's actually
do the right thing.
Pretty much covered it. Yeah.
She nailed it. You told her to take it home in 60 seconds and she solved it. So I wish you would have had you on a year ago. We could have solved all these problems before shit got out of hand.
Right?
Thanks a lot, GGP. Jesus.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
Yo.
great t-shirt ideas from the chat. Thank you. I'm going to use them all.
COVID World Order. I thought for that.
Oh shit.
COVID
man.
crossface with money.
Right to COVID. I
where,
like that RTC.
where can they find you again, and where can they hear you next?
You can find me Jenna Louise Feldy on YouTube and Facebook, and at Jenna Louise on Instagram. Also at The Life with Genergy, at Life with Genergy on Twitter. If they want to cancel me, just go to Twitter, post all my tweets. They're all really inappropriate. And don't follow me at my house. And IMDb, of course. You can see movies. And I have an entire resume in the bio of my Facebook with links to movies and commercials and videos. There's just an itemized list that's there because I'm OCD and organized.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to your next venture. When we can catch up with you health wise, you're always welcome back. Easy to hit us up to anything you need to promote. We're here as a rising tide raises all ships for all intelligent minds and open thinkers. That's what we're here to promote in free media. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you giving us time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
On this predictive programming, whatever you want.
Who knows what channel we'll be on next time, or if we can get back on Twitch, or as we move into some other realm, or the Realm Network itself, Stevie. What else we got going on? Stevie and I will be back early in the morning with the Ultra Kayfabe Declassified Friday Locker Room Thursday taping here at youtube.com/Ben Hameen. GGP NFO podcast, what's going down?
We're recording tonight. Doc, unfortunately, was the only Doc in the emergency room last night, so we didn't record last night. We have a guest on tonight, John Roca, former producer of Collider. He has his own thing right now. He's a big Star Wars nut. I met him when I was in LA. Nice guy, former veteran. So we're going to talk shop about the galaxy far, far away.
Excellent, man. Looking forward to it. Horror Junkyard going live right after this. I heard we're going to have producers court coming up here to see if Chuck actually can take this award away from MSG. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's just a smear campaign. Any insight?
It is by MSG. That is, and I'm disgusted that he would sink to such a level and accept an award that's so tainted by the fake votes.
Okay.
Listen, you cannot just by process of elimination vote for somebody to be producer of the year when he drives a Honda Fit.
Listen,
it doesn't make any sense.
Listen, man. The guy is trying to be responsible. He's being fiscally responsible, and I don't consider that a negative. The point is, MSG taking this with the green screen behind him, faking the whole "I got a little award" thing. Great, it's wonderful. If that's what he wants to do, right there it is, the fake picture.
Don't talk about my producer that way. It's the best producer we ever had.
He took that picture on the ISS, by the way.
Absolutely. So now we just want to make sure that the proper due is given to the actual producer of the year, which is Chuck from Horror Junkyard. We're going to be filming. We're going to be recording tomorrow. We were supposed to record yesterday. Things came up. But now we are going to do it tomorrow. So we are going to be doing Meatball Machine 2, Kodaku, which is amazing. So thank you. Exactly. It's a lot of fraud going on. We're trying to keep an even head. We're not trying to put out a smear campaign like some people are doing, but we are just going to stick by the truth.
Remember,
we're going to stay by the numbers that we had already collected. And there's no possible way there was enough voters that MSG even won.
All right. Aside from all the shenanigans, remember I gave you that contact about the cameraman for that horror movie?
No.
Jen, that was your uncle, right?
I was just thinking of that. Yes, my uncle worked on, was it Into the Woods? Is that what it was?
Into the Woods. That was the first movie we ever reviewed.
Remember I told you I gave you the cameraman?
Okay.
First movie. He made that.
Yeah, so this is what happened. GGP went, a girl that I know, her uncle did a thing.
Why do you make me sound like Mongo? I'm talking about sex.
And that's all that happened. So I have no idea who your uncle is, who you were. So
right. Throw me under the bus. Right. Thank you.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Go over to ForceUSA.com/Stevie. You're not going back to the gym. You're going to work out at home on a new Force USA rack. Get the best. Go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. I'm doing it big time right now. Feeling good off of all the resistance band workout and feeling good off of a little whiskey and some great chat tonight. hey, if it's a new chapter, we're all going to have to turn the page and move forward together. No one needs to be a little bitch out here and kick and scream. You don't need to put your faith into any one man or one party or one woman to do the right answer. It's always been inside you, and you know where it is, right here at the Conspiracy Horsemen, infidels. YOLO!
I don't even get to talk.